Hey Jurassic fans, welcome to the Game Trail, the Jurassic Park podcast segment where we cover all things Jurassic gaming. I am Brad Jost, and today I'm joined by Aaron Beyer for another exciting playthrough of Chaos in Jurassic Park with Tiger Electronics 2XL. 2XL is back. I'm so excited.
He's back.
Aaron, how you doing? And 2XL, good. How you doing, 2XL? You doing good?
2XL, look at he's back. He has an action figure just fell. He has fresh batteries today.
Yes.
I got really worried when I turned him on and he was sounding a little sluggish. So I went up to the Walmart and got him some fresh D batteries.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember the 90s, Brad? Four D
batteries. Like, I don't know. I don't.
Did you know you could still buy D batteries?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do they make D batteries still? Like, where are they? I don't feel like I see them ever.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
he's
rough.
good to go. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how you doing, man. It's been 2 months. Happy New Year.
Has it? Oh my gosh. Yeah. You know, I feel like Happy New Year. It's been
this in 2022.
Yeah, it might still be 2022. But it feels weird because this past few months I feel like everything's been weird with the holidays and throwing off our schedule and stuff like that for all these different segments that we're doing. So hopefully here, at the start of 2023, we can kind of get back on the train a little bit better. But, typically we do the wire. Me and Aaron, but today we're doing things a little bit different. We would have had a wire today, but we're looking at the news, and as of this recording time, there's
nothing.
There's not nothing. Really much. There's nothing to talk about.
you may or may not have had your Maisie action figure canceled. I don't know if it's really news.
There's
you might be excited for another dinosaur movie and or cartoon. It's not Jurassic related.
I'm excited.
I will say though, Brad, do you remember the last time we talked? Do you remember what we were very excited about?
Oh no. Are you wearing this shirt on purpose?
Brad,
are you trying to hurt me?
Never forget what they took away from us, okay? Never forget. All right? They took away our Henry Cavill Superman. How do you let an entire fandom? Can you imagine, Brad? Can you imagine if they were like, "Hey, we're gonna bring back Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum"?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then they were like, "Just psych, like we're not doing it."
I mean, look, that very well could have happened, over the course of Jurassic World Dominion's filming with the pandemic and everything. They very well could have pulled the carpet out from under us, but those are circumstances that are beyond your control. With Henry, it's just what happened? What was this mess? This chaotic mess?
I don't want to get political, Brad. I don't want to get political. I'm just going to say this though. During the Trump administration, 4 years of Henry Cavill. All right.
Oh no.
That's all I'm saying. Joe Biden, you have some things to fix. Use your power. Use your power. You got an election coming up.
Bring Henry Cavill back again.
Bring Henry Cavill back.
Is that what we're talking about? Oh my God. This is where we are.
Can you imagine the 2024, 2023 debates? And it's topic number one. Can we get back Henry Cavill as a Superman? Yeah. Dude, it makes me so mad. You know what the problem is? I was watching Zack Snyder's Justice League. Mm-hmm. And the problem with the Zack Snyder stuff is it wants to be a rated R. It wants to be so badly. In fact, Zack Snyder's Justice League is rated R. But even Man of Steel, I would say even argue Wonder Woman kind of to an extent with the sword and cutting people and stuff his stuff wants to be rated R. And I'm thinking when I think of Man of Steel and I think of Zack Snyder's Justice League and I think of the Batman was going to be Affleck's Batman movie, right? Mm-hmm. That movie was his movie, and they rewrote it a little bit to make for a new origin. But think about that movie. Are any of these movies that you take your kids to? Are kids excited to see Wonder Woman behead a dude while he's getting thrown into a portal?
No. But do you also bring in James Gunn to bring your kids to a movie? I don't know about that
Well,
either. So,
no, I gotta
but I know
like
what you mean though, because like that was like I don't think those movies were perfect by any means, the ones that we did
no.
get.
I don't agree.
But
I agree. I agree.
I enjoyed them for what they were. After a little bit of distance and time, I started to really appreciate them a little bit more and really like the cast and get into these people who are in these roles. And yeah, I think that was my issue with stuff like Man of Steel and even Batman. Like everything seemed a little too violent, like Batman with his guns and snapping necks with Superman and all this stuff. Like it was hard. It was hard to kind of grin and bear it for a little while. But when you say you're going to bring back Henry Cavill in this new era, I was like very hopeful that maybe we put all that
Yes.
grittiness maybe behind us and we were going to
Yeah.
get something really special. So that was such a bummer. Like I am by no means like a Snyder, fanatic like some of these people are, but like I liked the world, I guess, that they built. And I did like that
Yeah.
his cut of Justice League. So
I'm with you. I'm not like a Snyder fanatic. In fact, I think majority of his movies I don't particularly care for. Like when Sucker Punch came out, I really did not like that movie, but I remember like seeing certain sequences in that movie and being like, okay, yeah, this guy can do a Superman movie, like for sure.
mhm.
Um, and I think if they would give us Justice League Part Two that wraps up the Dark Side like saga or whatever, I feel like that would be like a nice cohesive 4 movie block of films. But
Mm.
alas, it's not to
Yeah,
be. The Rock lost. James Gunn
The
letting us
Rock.
down.
The Rock, man. Like The Rock, what did he do? Like he made this. He's like establishing the new order in this whole thing or whatever he
Dude,
was
it's
saying.
his fault.
The
He put that into the
It's
universe.
his
The order
fault.
is changing. The order has
Yeah,
changed or whatever. And it did change.
it did.
Warner
It did.
Brothers.
Now
Warner
the funny
Brothers.
thing is, you mentioned Zack Snyder not being a huge fan and stuff like that. Like I really the first time I saw his stuff, I think yeah, it was Dawn of the Dead, obviously. And I love that movie. But maybe the part I don't know if I love his work in that movie or James Gunn's writing because James Gunn wrote that movie, right? So
Oh.
so that's the tie to all of this, right? Like I think James Gunn can make a cool universe. I'm excited to see what he brings. I just hate that everybody had to get their heads cut off in order to make this work. Literally everybody's like, "Nah, bye, see ya. We're not
See,
doing this anymore."
I just don't know, man. Like I did not love Guardians 2. I thought it was like very like what's the like potty humor? Like potty humor
Yeah,
to
yeah,
me is
yeah.
funny like once. Maybe you can get away twice in a movie, but like it's just so much with Drax. And then I thought the Christmas
Mm.
special was I don't know. I don't know what Kevin Feige is doing over there, just approving anything that has the Marvel logo on it. But the guy needs to. The guy
I
needs to
love
come
I
back.
love the Christmas special. I thought that was pretty
No,
awesome.
it was so. I felt like it was very. I want to say like I knew. I feel like it was low production value, but at the same time, like
Mm.
I know it was low production value because they even said they were like, yeah, we just kind of like had downtime and like an extra set or whatever,
I
and
mean, it looked
kind of
awesome to
put it
me. I
together.
don't know. It looked great to me. I think a lot of people maybe take issue with the fact that they went down to like Hollywood Boulevard or whatever that is, down there and went to like stand in with all of these people who are in costumes, and fanning over them as Avengers. I know a lot of people didn't like that section of the special,
But
but
that always is a thing in superhero like entertainment. Like I
yeah,
remember there's
I
an
had no
episode
problem
of
with it.
Lois and Clark. There's an episode of Lois and Clark like back in the 90s where Superman struggles with this idea that he's become like a cultural icon and like kids are wearing the shirts and stuff and like buying the dolls and like I don't that's just what superhero entertainment eventually goes towards is kind of this surreal meta view on itself. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're there with Marvel for sure.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I know somebody like Dr. Alan Grant probably feels the same way, right? He's kind of like a cultural icon in the Jurassic universe, and he
Yeah.
definitely struggles with it. He struggles with
Way
it,
to
right?
way to bring me back
So,
onto the rails of the topic. But anyway,
so
never forget what they took
yeah,
away from you, Brad.
we're
Never
hurting.
forget.
We're hurting over here, but what are you gonna do? Just gotta move on, I guess. I don't know, but we are here to talk about games and things like that. So before we get into it, because I know a lot of people are like 2XL. What are you talking about? What is that? Before we get there, we'll set that up in a little bit. I do want to know what you've been playing. What are you currently playing around the gaming sphere? And I know one of those things because we were playing it yesterday. So,
I mean,
what's on your charts?
so I'm playing Fortnite. Played with you the other day. Very excited to get that Geralt of Rivia skin. I think that opens up
Speaking
in a
of
few weeks. Speaking of,
Henry
yeah, and
Cavill,
then
right? Henry Cavill, isn't it? Right? No, that's right. He's not.
never
there
forget,
anymore.
Brad, 2022, the year of losing everything. Everything. We lost Jurassic. Jurassic is done.
It's done. It's
Henry
over.
Cavill out of two of my favorite things.
Yeah, we were gonna do a prediction show for 2023, but we're like, Jurassic's over. There's nothing to predict. So
yeah, I mean, I predict we don't have a lot of Wire episodes in 2023.
Oh, what a prediction!
I predict you and I get creative with our time together. But yeah, so I've been doing that. I've been playing that Witcher update. I just started that yesterday. That is gorgeous. Definitely, if you have a PS5, like it is buried. That SKU is buried under so many things to get that proper version of the game. It took me like I was on like chat with like a buddy. I was like, how do you get this? And I am also playing that Crisis Core Final Fantasy Reunion, and that is a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. And I think being a budget game, like if you can swing the 40 or $50, that is well worth your time. It's super fun. So yeah. What about you, man? What have you been up to?
I'm mostly stuck in a cycle with two games, and it's Fortnite and Dreamlight Valley. I've been playing Dreamlight Valley a lot. But Fortnite, man, I literally have been playing that nonstop since like, oh man, I don't remember. I just started playing it fairly recently. You've been trying to coax me into playing this game forever. And
I love it because I've been trying to get you in forever. And then yesterday I log in and you were like easily, I'm like in the 30s and you're like at the 70s as far as level go. You're cruising.
Yeah, I'm cruising. I know I got really high up last season, and yeah, I'm hooked on that team building aspect of it, playing with your friends and it's too much fun. Like I just have too much fun. I used to be a big Call of Duty player, but that game is just so drab and like the same thing every time and defeating because like I'm constantly just getting everything handed to me left and right in that game, and it's so hard. And I feel like I was good at it. I feel like I was fairly good at it with my group of people, and yeah, and then we switched over to Fortnite, and we're just like having a blast. Like it's just too much fun. The characters, the settings, the weapon sets, everything is just too much fun. That's why I'm like hooked into it, and I can't wait to get down there every night or every other night usually, and mess around with that one. So that one is taking up a lot of my time.
I was going to ask you what finally, like, because I've been trying to get you to play for probably 4 years. Like I was wondering, like, what finally got you into it? But no, I think you hit the nail on the head with that game. Like, it gets kind of pegged as this like little kids game, and I think for sure, like, it's definitely there. But like, if you set up your settings correctly and don't have to listen to all the kids, like the little kids, like screaming at you.
I've
like,
never heard a single other person other than my friends. I've never heard a single, and mine has everybody. I don't know. Mine says set for everybody, but I don't hear a single person, which is beautiful because you log into Call of Duty and it's just like wall of screams coming at your eardrums, and it's horrible. The most just abusive stuff you could possibly imagine is just being thrown into your ear holes. It's horrible.
I will never forget, like, Ashley and I were playing, or I think Ashley was playing, but like I was in the game, or no, Ashley was playing, and these kids were like saying some really vulgar stuff to a woman on the internet, and I just sat there quiet. I just sat there, and she was kind of like laughing / offended because she's like, these are just little kids, and I remember at the end, I'm like, don't you dare talk to my wife that way ever again. And these little kids are like, oh crap, man.
Oh no. It's rough.
Dude,
if your kids are playing these games, be nice, be kind to people. Don't be, harassing other players. We're all in it together. Just have fun.
Yeah,
it's hard. But the thing that got me into the game was Indiana Jones. So knowing that Indiana Jones was there, I was like, oh, let me try this. Let me see, because I remember I told you that I played it a long time ago. And I won my first game, and I never played it again. And then I started to get into it for Indiana Jones, and then I won my next consecutive 8 games, and I was like, wait a second, am I a god at this game? What is happening?
8 games?
So I kept winning. And, it happens sporadically here and there, so that's still good. But Indiana Jones got me into it, and all the other characters have kept me there. I'm constantly looking for new characters. I remember, a year or two ago, whenever it was, Jurassic Souls, shout out, was joking about bringing Alan Grant into Fortnite. And I cracked up on the live stream. I was just laughing because that was the most absurd thing I've ever heard. But now, actually being in the game and seeing, the possibility of something like that, it's mind-boggling that we haven't gotten
all
Jurassic
the mechanics. All the mechanics are there. They've done. I might have said this on a previous podcast, so whatever, you get to hear it again.
Yeah.
But they've done velocity. It's on an island. Okay, they've done velociraptors. They've done I and some other people that listen, that I listen to via podcast, they did an Indominus Rex paddock that looked straight up out of Jurassic World. It had a raptor cargo thing inside of it too.
Okay.
And it was okay, they're going to do Jurassic. Dude, it's done giant behemoth quadrupeds that just lumber around. It's got the animals that hunt you and you hunt them. And dude, it's there. I'm not asking for a Marvel season. They did an entire season that was nothing but Marvel. Every 10 levels, you're getting a new Marvel skin. You're running around to all the different Marvel lands and stuff like that. I'm not asking for a season, but Fortnite, give us a 2-week period where it's Jurassic. They won't because there's nothing to tie in anymore. But oh man, it would be so
sometimes
cool.
Things come late. Who knows? I don't know, but Indiana Jones, what was Indiana Jones promoting? At that period of time, there's nothing Indiana Jones.
Especially with the 5th movie coming out, I feel like this would be the season to promote Indy, right? This season, the trailer drops and then Indy drops, right, as a suit. And my only real gripe with the game at this point is you talked about the characters. Well, they've got this whole thing where if they give away a character, it's that character will never be available ever again, right? And that's why I remember telling you, I was like, hey, I know you're a big Star Wars fan. It's Vader's the level 100 character. If you don't get him, you have no chance of getting Vader in the future, which I think is I think it's unfair. No, I know, but I think it's unfair to new people, right? To be hey, this roster of characters that you might love, 25% of them are unachievable at this point because they were prizes and not purchases.
Yeah.
I would love for them to bring in legacy missions or legacy seasons where on the you pay the $15-$20 whatever, and on the side you're not only doing missions for your current season, but you're also playing through missions for an old season. I don't know how that would work, but the map changes so much. But
I think that's a good idea because I would love to be able to obtain some things that I've missed out on. I mean, I'm glad they did have some Marvel stuff in there the other day, and I got not Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, and I got Green Goblin, and I was like happy with that. I'm like, all right,
Dude, Green
I got
Goblin,
them.
it's so cool.
Yeah.
I could he, in the store they don't show how his glider works, and I'm like, come on, surely it's like his feet planted. But there
Yeah.
was no other character that had that rig or that animation to do that. Like,
Hmm.
not in the way that Green Goblin flies his glider, right? There's a surfing rig and animation for gliders where like they'll surf like
Yeah.
on the thing, but like there's not like a stand and move forward type animation. And like just in true Epic fashion, they nailed it, right? Like Epic is kind of like travel like TT Games, where like TT Games, you look at something like Lego Dimensions or really any of their other Lego games, and it's like they know the fandom, right? Like they
Yeah.
know what the fans are gonna want out of this crazy bonkers Lego adventure. And I think Epic understands that too, where it's like, hey, we're gonna do Green Goblin. Okay, well, you know that none of our animations work on that character, right? Okay, well then I guess we invest the money to do the proper, rig and animation that the fans are going to expect out of that. So
Hmm.
yeah, they're killing it over there. I
Yeah.
love that stuff. But
And I know
bring Jurassic in.
I did a creator made experience where somebody literally built the Lego Jurassic World game, like out in their own island in Fortnite. It was their own thing. My cousin was searching around and he ended up finding it. We played it one night, and I was having a blast. We were just messing around. There was nothing to do in there really. I think we were collecting some things that you had to collect, like 10 things or something like that. But it was literally set up exactly like the game, like the Lego Jurassic World game, where you go to Main Street and you can walk down the exact like dimensions, it felt like, of that game. It was
That's so
incredible.
cool.
Like even the little alleys and different exhibits and stuff was what felt like it was like a one-to-one of what that game was. And I was just like, whoa, this is awesome. I can't believe this is in here. I had no idea.
Even with the, I mean, I know that Jurassic World Evolution, I know that developer Frontier doesn't use the same engine. Like they don't use Unreal Engine like Epic does. But I was saying to you yesterday, like, could you imagine an island this size in Jurassic World Evolution? Like
Oh man.
you could build any park. Like it's almost like no restrictions. And then if they wanted to, they could bring in that third person animation that they have from Zoo Tycoon, and you could walk around your own park,
Yeah.
and it'd be cooler than what it is now, which is just strapping a camera to an NPC. But like, yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I whatever tech they're using in Unreal, like, oh, it's so cool. 100 players on a
Yeah,
giant
they
island. So
updated that game. It looks so good. Like it looks really, really good. And I just, yeah, like you said, I wish that maybe we could have an explorable island like that for Jurassic one day, where you could go and have this untapped land that's just like jungle, but then also, a main street or something like that where you could explore. Like how cool would that game be? That would be
so
awesome.
cool. Be
I
so
don't know
cool.
what you would do. What you just roam around. I don't even care. Like I don't need to do anything. But that would be so much fun. Um, but yeah, the other game I've been playing is Dreamlight Valley, which is like a Disney kind of Animal Crossing kind of thing, where like you've
Yeah,
got
my
your
wife is
own
playing it.
little,
I've seen it.
yeah, you've got your own like different quadrants lands and stuff that you can unlock and do a bunch of quests with all these different Disney characters. I'm having a blast with that. I don't see how like Jurassic, if they did like that, like a nice full island, and you did quests with like Claire's and Owens, and Dr. Grant came in on a helicopter, Ian Malcolm came in on a boat. Like that stuff would be awesome. Like if you could unlock these characters and live on an island together, that would be really awesome. Like I don't know how they could utilize that, but that would be pretty fun too.
I wonder what we're in the store for Jurassic gaming coming up.
I don't
Like,
know.
are we really in store for anything? Because there's nothing. Again, games are really just tie-in products. Like
Yeah.
they've always have been. Um,
Yeah,
even
and we're lucky.
even when it's not a direct like remake of the movie in
Mhm.
game form, there's always like franchise cohesion, right? Like oh, there is a Batman movie coming out, so let's give a Batman game, and Jurassic, and
Yeah.
all that other stuff.
I feel like we're getting. I mean, it's taken a long time to get to a place where we have like really good franchise games. I feel like so for so long.
Oh yeah,
Some of these games were just absolute garbage. It's the same way that movies can't make good video game movies, or they haven't been able to for so long. They are starting to, but the same way goes for video games, where they haven't had a lot of good movie video games and tie-in games. But maybe we're starting to get to that place, and hopefully, they can just make one without the tie-in. I think people would still be into it, but
it's funny
it's
that you
hard.
say that, because like I feel like, Brad, you like a lot of movies. Like I would say between the two of us, you more than me like movies, right? And I think Uncharted was the first time, and I've known you for almost a decade, and I think Uncharted was the first time you were like, no thanks, like not a good movie.
I really don't have I really don't have negative reactions to movies all that much. Every now and then I come across something where I'm like, it is what it is. But most of the time I'm like, I loved it. It was great. I had fun. I had fun every movie I've seen. But when I watched Uncharted, I'm like, what? This could have been something great. These games are great. Incredible stories. And then that happened. And I'm like, that was nowhere near what that movie should have, what that movie should have been. I am hopeful for The Last of Us, though.
I was going to say, like, The Last of Us looks good. Looks like we're getting a little bit of extra stuff, a little more day in the life stuff. But at the same time, like, I always come back to like Last of Us. I'm like, yeah, but Last of Us is so derivative. It's just zombies, and like we've seen this story now play out like a million times. Like when The Last of Us came out, it was like, well, The Last of Us isn't about the zombies. It's more about like
that's
relationship. But like I feel like Walking Dead got there like really quickly. Like Walking Dead eventually became more about the relationships and not about the zombies, like around season 4, maybe.
Yeah, but they messed up big time, because like I'm an avid watcher of the Walking Dead. I watch all of the spin-offs, and I've watched all the episodes.
I haven't seen like the last like 5 episodes.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but like I feel like that show went off the rails a little bit and like got away from what it was good at. And I hope that The Last of Us can capture that, what The Walking Dead was good at and stuff. I hope that they can still capture that and be good at these personal stories instead of the action per se. But I do want the action to be great. Obviously it needs to be. I know they said recently that it's not going to be as violent as the video games, which is fine. I think they can still accomplish, a good story without the violence. But yeah,
I don't even know. Was the original just like crazy violent? I felt like 2 was for sure like
2 definitely, yeah.
2 definitely.
I think maybe what they mean is like, in terms of every now and then you're just like bombarded by groups of people, right? And you're just mowing them down left and right. I feel like that's maybe where the violence is. Like maybe you don't have to come into contact with that stuff all the time, because other than that, it's just like chance encounters and a little bit of brutality here and there. But I don't know where the violence would be per se. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like you're right. Like Naughty Dog, especially with like Uncharted, like as much of a hero as Nathan Drake is, he is
he's
mass
criminal.
murderer.
Like, yeah,
he's a straight up. This dude needs
he's
to be
horrible. Yeah,
in prison. And yeah, I feel like Last of Us kind of justified. Like, first off, it was mostly the clickers, right? So it's like they're no longer people, which is how you justify, like in Walking Dead, killing a bunch of zombies, right? Because they're no longer sentient like people. Yeah, and I mean, no spoilers for Walking Dead, but you do murk some people. And in Walking Dead Part 2, you are like, I mean, that poor lady playing her, she just wanted to play her PlayStation Vita, man. That's all. Like that. Did you know what I'm talking about? The lady who's sitting there playing the Vita.
Wait, what? In what? You mean The Last of Us Part 2?
In The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, okay. You said The Walking Dead Part 2. I was very confused.
Oh, sorry. No.
Yeah. No, I do remember that scene.
It's kind of this joke where it's like Sony just hated the PlayStation Vita so much that like you just had to brutally just beat down the only woman left playing one. Vita forever. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I want Jurassic gaming to be so good, and Frontier has done a really good job kind of carrying that flag. But even with this latest update, which costs money, we still do not have a complete Jurassic roster. Micro Ceretis, what was the blue thing that Maisie was like petting in?
Oh, in the videos, the back
in the videos, yeah, which is like
whatever.
The missing Jurassic Park like species that we could never like really fully point to. Like what, there's 13 on the island at some point, right? When they go to Jurassic Park, and it's like you never could really pinpoint the exact 13 species or whatever. And so like Microceretis kind of fills that in, and they don't have it. And there's some good theories. Some people were like, well, it was a puppet, so like Universal couldn't just hand over a digital model, which I don't believe, because I feel like Frontier's got some talented model workers anyway. Like, just build one.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, well, is it too small? And I'm like, well, not smaller than Compy, which is like,
can't even see him.
You can't even see Compy. And you place them, and then that's like, you're like, great, I have Compies. Cool.
Yeah, I think I do. Somewhere, maybe. I have to use that one view where you can actually see the species, but yeah,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I wish there was more games. Hopefully in the future. I'm not going to predict anything because I don't see it I'm not seeing it in the future, but who knows? Maybe there will be something. But let's talk about what we're going to do today. So we have two things we want to do if we have some time. First one is we're going to throw it back to when did we last do this? I don't even know.
Oh my gosh, it's got to be 2 or 3 years ago. It's got to be pre-Fallen Kingdom for sure.
Oh my gosh, really? Do you think it was that far back?
I think it was that far back, man.
I can look
it up. Which is why I don't think that we should really like worry about what we've done in the past, because I feel like anybody who has been listening for all these years probably won't remember. And anybody who's new probably hasn't listened to episodes from 4 years ago. So
yeah, they're not repeat listening to 2XL episodes, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe they are. I mean, when I started listening, I listened from episode 1, but
where is it? I'm not finding any episodes with this thing in it.
So
what did I do?
Here, while you're trying to find it, I'll explain what 2XL is.
You explain it. Okay.
So 2XL is a toy from the 90s. I got him probably circa 1992, and he is this robot, and I'll show him here on the camera. He's just this toy robot. This is like the second iteration of him. I think there was a version in like the 70s or 80s. But basically, he takes these cassette tapes, you put them in, and he's traditionally like a quizzing robot, right? He will ask you questions. There's different tapes. So there was one about science. There was one about dinosaurs. There was one about sports. Never got any play from me. But eventually, after they kind of saturated the market with the quiz tapes, their next wave was like choose your own adventure books or choose your own adventure audiobooks. And they were really cool. They had Batman, they had Superman, they had some Marvel properties, and they had Jurassic Park, which I think is still probably one of the rarest 2XL tapes. I only know of me and like one other person out there who has it. And every once in a while on the podcast, we'll do a run through of one of the stories. Brad has never hit my favorite one, but maybe we'll get lucky today and it'll hit it. But what's going to happen is 2XL is going to start telling the story, and Brad is going to choose the option, and we're just going to see where that option takes us, and then maybe we'll do like a mini recap at the end about things that maybe surprised us. Or I remember one time we came across a character named Kelly, and that was that was something new.
Yeah, I completely forget everything we've done before, and maybe once we go through it, maybe I'll start to remember. All right, so it looks like we did one. Part 1 of this was April 24th, 2017. Oh my lord! And part 2 was June 12th, 2017.
I mean, that's pre Fallen Kingdom, right?
Yeah. There was
Yeah.
there was another we can't forget we did a Halloween episode with 2XL Halloween special for 2017.
But I think that we didn't really play through 2XL for that. I think you modulated something for 2XL.
It was just me doing the voice of 2XL. I was like, welcome to I am 2XL.
Wow.
You're talking robot. I didn't even need to modulate it. I just did the voice.
You just did it. That's excellent.
Part 3. We skipped all the way to 2019 with part 3. Wow. In August 12th. Actually, my daughter's birthday, but several years earlier, or 1 year earlier.
So here we are 4 years later doing another 2XL playthrough.
Woo! Yes, another 2XL playthrough. But after that, we're gonna try to do something fun if we have some time. So stick around for that. We're gonna maybe chat with a newer kind of robot, if possible.
If possible,
we're gonna see how that works out. So you're gonna have to stick around to see what happens there. But we're gonna chat with some older technology here for a little bit. Do we know if this is gonna work? Are we gonna hear everything? Like, because we didn't test this audio out before.
Yeah. You would have thought maybe we should have tested this. Let's do this.
So this is part 4, I guess, huh?
I mean, I guess. Let's do this. I have to keep the microphone kind of in the same spot because the cord's not that long. But what we can do for the video, I don't know if you're putting this on video, but I don't want to be on video. Okay. So we're gonna put 2XL. We're gonna put 2XL here.
Okay.
And then
can't see it.
I know you can't because I'm gonna move my camera here in just a second. I don't want to blow out the audio with 2XL. Should we hit play and then 2XL can give us a story?
Let's do it. All
right, let's go. Tell me if it blows out too much. I'll try to back the mic off.
Okay.
So we're gonna hit play.
Hello, I am 2XL, everybody's favorite storytelling robot. But you probably already know that. I was just reviewing a very interesting part of the world's history, the period when dinosaurs ruled the earth, before robots were invented. Did you ever wonder what it would be like to meet a real live dinosaur? I heard of a man who was so interested that he created his own dinosaurs as well as a place for them to live, a place called Jurassic Park. During this story, you'll be asked to make certain choices from time to time. As usual, please follow all of the instructions. Only press the buttons you are told to press, and only after you hear the word now. So get ready for excitement and adventure as you take a trip through Jurassic Park. But first, you need to tell me where you would like to begin this story. If you would like to start in the United States, press 2. Or if you want to begin on Costa Rica, press 3. Press 2 or 3 now.
3. Let's go 3. Going to Costa Rica.
An investment banking firm it will be. Now, with whom would you like to begin your adventure? Press 1 if you want to join a park warden, or press 2 to start with a chief systems engineer. It's up to you. Press 1 or 2 now.
2? 2? I guess. Yeah.
John Arnold is a middle-aged man who has spent the past 5 years on Isla Nublar, integrating all of the computer systems into the needs of the park. Now that the project is near completion, tons of glitches are popping up. I don't believe this. Now the air conditioning controls are frozen. Arnold looks across the room at Dennis Nedry. While Arnold has kept himself in shape, and his desk is neatly organized, Nedry crams his overweight body behind a workstation cluttered with remnants of yesterday's meals. All right, let's see what's wrong with our baby this time. Nedry types away at his keyboard. Within minutes, he lets out a cry of satisfaction. Arnold can hear the air conditioner kick back into operation. hate to admit it, but you are a whiz at that computer. So why are we having all these problems with the system now? That's not my fault. Nedry complains that he has wasted the past 2 years having to fix things, only because Arnold has withheld information about what was being done on the island. That was not my decision. Sure, I've heard that before. Now, if you excuse me, I need another soda. Nedry leaves the computer room. Arnold looks down at his monitor. I better make sure that power fluctuation didn't knock anything else offline. Who would you like to follow? Press 3 to go with Dennis Nedry, or 4 to stay with John Arnold. Press 3 or 4 now.
We're going Nedry. You said you follow Nedry, so I'm following Nedry. I don't know if this is the right path, but I'm doing it.
As Janice Kelly, the new assistant park warden, wanders the grounds, she sees the obese Dennis Nedry leave the main building. He glances left and right in a suspicious manner.
What's this character up to? I better follow him.
Keeping a discreet distance between them, Kelly follows Nedry to a telephone booth. If she could only move closer, she could overhear him calling the mainland. Dodgson here. Dr. Lewis Dodgson is a scientist for Biocen Corporation, a firm heavily into genetic research. This is Nedry. Everything is set. You've got the money? $1.5 million. Half on delivery, the other half when we confirm the results. Don't worry. The 15 dinosaur embryos that I'll get you will be the genuine article. Dodgson has suspected for a long time that Hammond's firm, InGen, was up to something big in the genetics field. After some digging, he found that computer specialist Nedry was bitter about having to fix mistakes on the park's computer system that he blames Hammond for. It wasn't long before Dodgson talked Nedry into stealing dinosaur embryos for him. Tomorrow will be perfect. Hammond's bringing in some consultants, so all the non-essential staff will be on leave. Take your boat to the North Dock. No one will be there. As Nedry walks back to the resort,
North Dock.
He notices a woman he's never seen on the island before. He leers at her. Kelly turns away. She overheard Nedry planning something for tomorrow, but she has no idea what. The next morning, the majority of the staff have the weekend off. 2 helicopters approach the island. Which helicopter would you like to check on? Select 1 for the helicopter that is further away, or 4 for the helicopter that is closer. Select 1 or 4 now.
1, maybe? I don't know, 1?
I mean, we'll see what happens.
Flying in low above the ocean, the occupants of the helicopter squirm about in their seats in anticipation.
Whoa, look!
I figured it would be the kids.
Timothy Murphy shifts back and forth in his seat to get a better look at the island. This is annoying his older sister, who is sitting behind him.
How can you possibly see anything this far away?
Because, Lex, it was big and green.
Alexis Murphy, better known as Lex, lets out a sigh of disgust. The only thing she had seen was another helicopter go in for a landing.
A big green thing? Next you'll be telling me there's dinosaurs on this island.
Could be. After all, this is
Could be.
grandfather's island.
Lex pulls her baseball cap down over her eyes. Tim presses his face against the window. At that moment, a large reptile about 15 feet long flies up past the helicopter on leathery wings. It has a beak-like snout and a wingspan 25 feet across.
Oh my gosh, a pterosaurus!
Tim jumps back, bumping into the pilot. The helicopter spins out of control.
Oh.
Lex screams. The helicopter skims across the surface of a lake before landing roughly on a grassy field near the helipad.
Whoa.
You idiot! You nearly got us killed! But that was a pterosaurus! Possibly a Quetzalcoatlus!
Meanwhile, the Pterosaurus has spun lazily back to the ground. Men are picking it up and hustling it into a nearby building.
We almost end up dead, and all you care about is some flying reptile?
The kids look up as the helicopter door is yanked open. A woman wearing a khaki shirt and shorts looks at them.
Is everyone all right?
The woman introduces herself as Assistant Park Warden Kelly.
Sorry for the scare.
Okay.
We were working in the aviary and we thought we had the occupants sufficiently tranked. One has a little more spunk than we figured.
The children are brought to the main compound, where they join their grandfather, John Hammond. They also meet Mr. Regis, a lawyer, Dr. Malcolm, a mathematician, Dr. Sattler, a paleobotanist, and Dr. Grant, a paleontologist.
I recognize you. I've read your book.
Have you now? Sounds like we have something in common. All right, folks, let's get this show on the road. Where do you want to start? Shall we start by learning how we make dinosaurs, or do you want to head straight for the genuine article?
Which would you prefer?
Huh.
Select B to learn how the dinosaurs were made, or C to meet some right now. Select B or C now.
Let's go B. I don't know. I want to learn about him.
Hammond leads the way into the complex. He enters a security code into the keypad next to the lab, and the door swings open.
Here is where miracles are made. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Dr. Henry Wu.
An Oriental man in his mid-40s steps
Whoa.
forward. He holds up an orange-gold translucent rock. You may not believe this, but all of our dinosaurs start here. Dr. Wu explains
Terrible,
that it was
terrible
dinosaur
accent.
blood found in a mosquito trapped in amber that provided the scientists with a starting point. They were able to unlock the secrets of the dinosaur's DNA, the building blocks in all matter. It took some trial and error, such as having to add amphibian DNA to fill in some of the blanks, but we've been able to reproduce authentic dinosaurs. Wu also explains that the dinosaurs are all the same sex to control their population. Lex, not really interested in dinosaurs, sees a door marked Top Secret. She hears something move behind the door.
What in here?
Wu and Hammond quickly step in between her and the door. Special research. It's not ready for the public.
Nothing that interesting, especially when the next item on the agenda is a tour of the park.
With that, Hammond bustles the group outside and loads them into a couple of electric cars designed to ride around on a track through the park.
Have a good time, children. We'll have ice cream for dessert when you get back.
The two cars move off into the park. Regis, Tim, and Lex in the first car, Grant, Sattler, and Malcolm in the second. What would you like to do now? Press 1 if you would like to go into the park, or press 2 if you would like to stay at the control center. Press 1 or 2 now.
Where you
I
going,
don't
Brad?
remember. 2? I don't remember.
So he can track the progress of the electric cars through the park. He sees Nedry lazily typing something into his computer. Nedry scratches his large belly, leaving chocolate fingerprints
Man.
on his shirt.
It's rough on
Hammond
Nedry.
mutters to himself.
That boy should take up exercising.
The old man walks
Oh my
over to the chief systems engineer's desk. Arnold is bent over a video display of the area's weather pattern. Looks like we're in for bad weather. Arnold tells Hammond that a storm system is now heading toward them. Nedry chokes on his soda. Something wrong, Mr. Nedry?
I accidentally got a diet soda by mistake. I better get another.
Nedry quickly types something into his computer and then leaves the room.
This storm could get pretty nasty. Nothing that'll harm the system, but I don't think we should leave those folks out there.
As Arnold reaches for the keyboard, the weather video display goes off. He tries entering a command in his computer. Nothing happens.
The system's frozen. I can't get anything to work.
Arnold tells Hammond he can't make anything work that runs off the computer system.
That means the entire security system is offline.
We can't bring the cars back in.
Where's Nedry? We need him to fix it.
Check the vending machines.
What would you like to do now? Press 1 if you wish to stay in the control room with Arnold and Hammond, or press 3 if you'd like to follow Nedry.
Ooh.
Press 1 or 3.
3.
Now.
Let's follow Nedry. See what's going on.
All right, let's do it.
Nedry hurries down the hall toward the genetics lab. He is clutching a small canister.
Here's where I pay you back for 2 years of my life being wasted, Hammond.
Nedry opens the door to the lab, which is no longer locked since he took the security system offline.
After tonight, I won't have to work again for the next 15 years.
Slipping into the refrigeration section,
15.
Nedry pulls out a pair of thick gloves and begins loading dinosaur embryos into a small refrigerated canister. He hops into a Jeep and drives off through the park.
If only this rain would let up.
All he had to do now was reach the North Dock, where he would meet Dr. Lewis Dodgson, a scientist from Hammond's major competitor. He would give Dodgson the embryos in exchange for $1.5 million.
If Hammond had played fair with me from the start, I wouldn't have to do this.
Nedry is so wrapped up in his anger that he quickly gets lost.
Oh, no. This can't be happening. The plan depends on me pulling this off within 15 minutes, so I won't be missed.
He gets out of the Jeep to take a closer look at a roadside. He slips and tumbles down the side of a hill. He slides under a guardrail and with a loud splash falls into a river.
Help! Help! I can't swim!
Nedry is carried away with the current. In minutes, he is far from where he started.
Whoa.
Eventually, Nedry is swept up onto the shore. He climbs up the bank, coughing up water.
Wait a minute. Wait. I smell the ocean. Yes!
With a cry of joy, Nedry realizes that he has reached the North Dock. Running onto the dock, he sees a man waiting by a small motorboat. It is Dr. Dodgson. Nedry reaches into his pocket to pull out the canister. In all the excitement, it could have fallen out of his pocket. Does Nedry still have the canister? Select yes if he has it, no if he doesn't. Select yes or no now.
I mean, this is hard. This is a tough choice. I say yes. I don't know. I feel like that's going to be a dead end, but I don't know.
Dr. Dodgson, I presume?
Nedry pulls the canister full of dinosaur embryos out of his pocket and hands it to Dodgson. Thank you, Nedry. Let me secure this in the refrigerator on my boat, and I'll give you your payment. Visions of wealth dance across Nedry's greedy little mind. But instead of paying him, Dodgson speeds off, leaving Nedry with his mouth hanging open. In 3 years, Dodgson's company opens its own dinosaur theme park and starts selling miniature dinosaurs as pets to tourists from around the world. Unfortunately, there is a flaw in the small dinosaur's genetic makeup. In 5 years, they grow into gigantic dinosaurs and overrun the world.
That was a very exciting story. I'm not sure about the ending, however. I'd hate to have a wandering dinosaur accidentally step on little me. Personally, I'm not ready for a world overrun with dinosaurs. But there is a way to change this. Simply rewind this cassette tape and play the story again. Only this time, 3 different choices that will give you a new story. Okay, please turn off this cassette and rewind it now.
Wow. Brad, you did it. You destroyed the world.
Oh my Lord. I did not expect that to happen. I figured the story would kind of end right there, right? That it would just that would be the end of the story. But I didn't expect Dodgson to just rip away from him, not pay him the money, and then just go. I expected him to succeed and do whatever he wanted. But man, the flaw in the DNA to make them just be monstrously huge and take over the world, that's amazing. Amazing.
I first off, before we talk about it more, I do want to make a statement. This tape was made in the early 90s.
Yes.
If you were a younger viewer, the term Oriental is not proper.
No.
For describing people. So
yeah.
don't go repeating what you heard in this 90s tape.
I was gonna say that as well, but I was just so blown away by that ending. But yeah, they are not like it really goes to show like how times have changed. You know, like the stuff with Dennis Nedry is just like every time.
Yeah.
Every time there's something horrible said about this man. And like yeah, I mean they do make that a little bit of that commentary in the film, but they just have his desk be a mess. But other than that, there's not like they say he's a complete slob or something, but like that's about it. You know, so the movie is a little bit more kind to this person, but this tape, not so much. And no wonder like we all grew up with like complexes, you know, after hearing this kind of conversations on a day-to-day basis, especially from our own talking little robot. You know, 2XL, we're gonna have to, you know, do some back-end computing there to fix that programming a little bit, I think.
I mean, so that story, that is the one that I've been kind of hoping that you would get to over time.
I was hoping.
It's really short, and it's like it's Jurassic World, right? It kind of. I mean, it's Dodson creating dinosaurs and getting out. I totally forgot about the part where Dodson doesn't even pay him. Like Dodson just speeds off. It's like peace out, which is totally something that like I feel like is like what's Nedry gonna do at that point? Sue him? Like clearly this whole thing is not on the up and up, you know. So yeah, Dawson just cruises off. Interesting too. We didn't really get very many dinosaurs. We got the pterosaur, and definitely I did not remember this being a Quetzalcoatlus.
A Quetz.
Possible. Yeah. Like
that was
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Like I feel like I said, I don't remember what we had done previously. I remember I think there was one episode where we got a lot of repeats and we were like, you know, it happens. There was a lot of repeats in this one.
Yeah.
But I do not remember, except for the poor characterization of Dr. Wu. Like I think we maybe stumbled upon that one previously. I'm not too sure, but other than that, I remember in previous episodes being just like blown away by some of these random pathways that it takes you on and the way that it changes the story and does things different. I think that is really, really cool. And that's exciting to kind of like get these new takes on a story you're so familiar with, like to have a Ketz just randomly show up and then to have a storyline where Dodson wins and Nedry kind of wins. He like gets through. Like so you said there was a pathway to follow Nedry. You didn't give me any inkling as far as like how to get there at all. So I just stumbled upon it. I don't know how we got there, but as soon as I heard,
because there was a point during this playthrough where I was like, oh wait, we're not following Nedry. Like that's not an option.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't an option. I was like, well, I got to follow two of these helicopters. And I thought maybe the second helicopter would be the kids, but I didn't necessarily think that there would be a way back to Nedry. I was a little worried that we wouldn't be able to get back to him. But the fact that they, when Janice Kelly was brought in, I was like, all right, well, there's a little tie. He just saw her a little bit ago, so maybe they'll bring us back somehow. And then once we got back on, I was like, all right, I got to follow Dennis Nedry again. And the big choice, like for me, I was like, well, did he drop the canister or did he retain it? I was like,
I was getting really
not want to mess up.
You're not going to choose because like, had you chosen that he doesn't have the canister anymore, I feel like we would have had to have replayed that whole game again perfectly until we would have had an episode in the future where it's like we've heard all of this before, except for this one, man, you picked yes, and I was like, oh, thank you.
I
Thank you.
didn't know if like that would be the better option. I'm like, well, that's what happens in the movie, but I want to go different. But I don't want the story to just abruptly end and be like, Dennis Nedry hands off the Barbasol can to Louis
Right.
Dodgson, and the end. You know, I'm like, oh, that just seemed like a dead end. But luckily it wasn't. It expanded upon things, which I did not expect. That was pretty brilliant. The fact that like Dodgson is true to himself and a terrible person, and does like that feels very in line with what Dodgson would do, right? He would just maybe not the Jurassic World Dominion version. He seems a little different.
No, but like the younger
the book
Dodgson
version,
from like, for sure,
like the Lost World book or something. He would do something like that, and that was awesome. The fact that they won. Biosyn made dinosaurs, set up their own park, sold miniature dinosaurs with a character flaw in them. That's pretty awesome.
Which is so cool because like in the book, they talk about like, and we're going to sell miniature dinosaurs and we're going to sell them where their genetics can only support Biosyn made food, right? Like in Jurassic Park, they talk about, this is a thing. What I like about this tape is that there are so many things that have clearly been in the Jurassic, not canon, but like the arsenal, right? Like the Jurassic arsenal of stories. And maybe some of it's just like obvious or derivative of other things and should be expected. But like Jurassic World is the chaos effect toy line, right? We know from previous playthroughs that the special project behind the door is a blue or an Indoraptor style plot point, right? And this being where Dodgson gets the dinosaurs and basically the world is overrun with dinosaurs because of Dodgson, right? Like I just feel like so many things that we are familiar with now, like these were like quote new ideas back in the 90s, right? And thinking about Jurassic's future, I am really hesitant to find things in the books and other like source materials where I'm like, well, wait, like what else could they do at this point? Like, because all the stuff has been kind of mined for, like, there's been story mining from all this stuff, the comics, this 2XL tape. In one of the Jurassic comics, they go to a raptor training facility and it is a guy dressed like Owen up high training raptors like down in a pit, and then we got that in a movie 20 some years later. Like it's like what's left, there's not much left to mine, which is why the future of Jurassic is very like foggy, but also kind of exciting, like what could we do? Because everything's new at this stage, So
but like I said, it's nice to kind of learn new things potentially about the past and different paths that we could have gone down, because we always wonder, we always wonder like, what would have happened if he got off, the island, and like here's like a source telling us this is what happened, and I appreciate that. I think that's really cool to kind of hear a new story and a new take on what we've been conjuring in our brains for so long. Like we've always been wondering what would happen. So there's a shot at it. And like you said, it is so close to kind of what we've experienced with Dominion. And that's really cool. That's really cool. Did Colin listen to this?
Oh, there you go. Did Colin listen to that? I doubt. I feel like this is definitely like a thread where it's like, this is kind of the obvious, right? Like, of course it's obvious that eventually the dinosaurs wind up on the mainland, right? Yeah. And if you're talking about only Jurassic Park, I mean, you got to think the knowledge going into this tape is only one movie, right? Like there was no Lost World.
Yeah.
There was no Jurassic Park 3.
1994.
Right. This is all kind of like, this is all writers taking one movie, or not even a movie. Well, at this point, they probably had the whole movie out by the time they started recording this, but like they're literally taking one source, maybe two if they took the effort to read the actual book, but like they're trying to like deviate it in all these different stories that could happen based on the ideas from a movie and a book. Just really interesting. I'm
That's
glad
awesome.
I'm glad you got that ending, bud.
I'm so happy it finally happened. I've been hearing about this Nedry path for so long, and it's finally good to see what happened there. And it definitely paid off. Like you could have hyped that up and been like, oh, you got to find this path, and then I get there and I'm like, oh yeah, that was cool. But this like paid off, and I was like,
There's a girl that
oh.
screams.
I legitimately like thought well, first off, like that helicopter almost crashed. I was like, whoa, wait, what's happening here? And then with Dodge and taking off with the money, I was like, oh, there's a gasp. And then another one when dinosaurs take over the world or whatever. I was like, okay, wow. I couldn't have predicted that. That's awesome.
I think there was something done better in this than in the original Jurassic Park. Like, I thought it was really cool that Nedry slips into the river, and the river like carries him off to like who knows where. Like, imagine that being the movie. He gets up and like there's the Dilophosaur along the river, like in the book. Like that would have been like totally cool to happen in both 2XL or the movie, right?
Yeah.
Like
that's so interesting because like I thought that I was like, oh well, he's gonna fall down, he's gonna get down to the bottom. And I'm like thinking in my head, like, oh, this path he's taking me on is just going to be some brutal Dilophosaur kill because that's where we ended up. We ended up at that point in the movie, in the book, but it didn't do that, which was mind blowing because it subverted my expectations and took it to the same place, and then went down a river or whatever, down to the riverbank, and he ended up on the shore. That smells like the ocean or whatever he said. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How did we get here?
That's totally
wild,
cool, man.
I'm on the North Dock. I can't believe it. Like, that is awesome. I couldn't believe that. That was so cool. That was really cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's 2XL. And like we said, made in the 90s. So yeah, we take no responsibility for those terrible
It's just you know what
of things.
I will admit at one point, the acting, right? I did use that word at one point to describe people, and this guy that was he's like don't. I'm like, oh really? Like idiot out of high school, new into the world, right? And he's like, no, don't do that, we're I was like, okay,
you learn,
good to know.
You learn, right? Yeah.
You live and you learn.
And now, well, 2XL told me, and it's like, no, we don't live by 2XL rules. That's not
I definitely didn't say
what
2XL told me. But yeah.
Well, but
anyway.
it's ingrained in you stuff like this that you hear as a kid, you think is okay, right? And that's why it's so hard, like raising two kids these days, and you're like really trying to tell them the right things. Like, it's hard.
Just wait.
Like,
one day you're gonna be a racist. Like that's just how it's gonna work.
It's just I guess that's the way it's going.
You're gonna have something you're gonna have something deep in your coding, and you're gonna be like, no, I can't not use this word.
No,
and
I don't.
Your kids are gonna be like,
I don't think
Grandpa,
so.
Like, calm down.
You never know. I'm not gonna. I hope to never go down that path, but times change, and you always try to figure out ways to catch up, right? You try to get, and that's maybe that's the difference I think between our generations. Maybe is like our minds are like ever changing, and we're like we try to catch up to what's right. I think that's maybe the difference. Hopefully that's the difference. I don't know. Did previous generations say the same thing?
No, I don't think they do. And because like my whole attitude towards that, oh man, we're getting like deep. But like, how hard is it for a group of people to say to you, hey, we don't like when you say this, or like how hard is it to be like, okay.
Yeah, I won't do that anymore.
Apologies, like, and then grow as a person and then move on. Like, but no, I feel like the generation before us is like, well, it was okay when I was a kid.
That's what I've always done. That's what I'm gonna do forever. Yeah, okay. Right. Well, you could just not do that, Nope. Right. Can't do it. All right. Well, 2XL is that person. 2XL is like, nope, this is the way I was told.
2XL is physically incapable of changing. All right. This is the problem.
That's true.
But anyway,
path, man. This path has been interesting.
That's a robot from the 90s.
That is a robot.
Should we play with a robot from today?
Today. Yeah, let's play with a robot from today. So I've got this chat bot, OpenAI. And I was messing around with this recently, and you know, a lot of people have been kind of sharing their questions and parameters that they've thrown into this chat, and it comes up and it creates, you know, you're all seeing the AI stuff. There's been a ton of artwork which has been, you know, pretty like, you know, people are not really into that. It comes up with some interesting stuff, but ultimately it seems like it's very much like stealing kind of from other artwork and other artists and stuff, where to the point where you see like their signatures and stuff like that, and it's rough.
Oh, I mean, okay, well that's clearly theft, but I find it really interesting as an artist myself, professional one. I make money doing art. As an artist, you don't start a project without what's your reference? Show me your reference, right?
Yeah.
Like, so for projects I've worked on, it's like, you know, like perfect example. You saw that raptor image that I on my desktop. I didn't make that up. I didn't come up with that idea. I used Brian Franzak's art and did basically the same thing in a different medium. Now there's clearly some differences. When I posted that on my ArtStation, I had to list like who made the raptor, who did what. Like I had to list out the different people that were involved in supplying assets, like where did I buy these characters from or whatever, you know. And then there were changes that I made, you know, and I have to like list it out, right? Where an AI image doesn't do that. But when you go see any movie or play any video game, right, people don't just make this stuff up. They have reference, and now whether that reference is they Google an image and try to recreate the mood or the look to that, you know, or whether or not they have a concept artist. I think for artists, the scary thing about this is that this replaces concept artists and poster artists. I think like poster art has actually gotten so bad over the years that like I feel like this could be a step up for poster art. Not all posters, but like a good. I mean, when I'm thinking of like, man, like think of the classics, man. Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Like that trilogy of posters of them like standing out of the car. That's iconic. Who is this?
Drew Struzan.
Drew Struzan. Who I think the last thing I remember of Drew Struzan was the Harry Potter. He did the Harry Potter 1 poster.
Yeah,
but,
I forget what he's done since, but
I mean, some posters are just so incredibly bad that like it's almost like scary that like the true artists that are really out there, concept artists, poster artists, I mean, they're just so easily replaced by this AI art thing that isn't really doing anything original anyway. You know, I've had people ask me like, what do you think of AI art? And I kind of think of it in the same way as I think of this AI chat GPT, which is, well, no CEO is ever going to be the input guy, right? They're going to always pay someone to do the input. And I feel like if you can become the person that understands how to get the best result out of it, like you have job longevity. But yeah, this chat GPT thing is interesting. If you follow like Linus Tech Tips, they did like a whole WAN show about chat GPT where they just played with it for like an hour. And people were writing in like some of the crazy things they were doing with it. And it was like live. One guy wrote in, he goes, yeah, I'm a minister. And he goes, I just plugged in. I said, hey, chat GPT, can you write me a sermon that is roughly 40 minutes long with the topics of like these Bible verses? And it spit out a sermon, a good sermon instantly. And this minister was like, I have never felt like my master's degree has been the biggest waste of money ever. Because like literally he's like, hey, I'm like, give me a sermon, these verses, and it spit it out fantastic. Linus was doing, he was like, hey, write me copy for advertisements, you know, for our sponsors. And chat GPT was spitting it out, if not the first time, the second time, like pretty good. And it's like, okay, so now there's a bunch of copywriters out there who have to worry about job security.
Seriously.
It's a scary tool, but it's very good.
It is very good. And it comes up with some fun stuff. It's not always perfect. You know, sometimes you kind of have to work with it a little bit. And, you know, because I put in some stuff before and I kind of asked it to make like some podcast scripts and stuff for me. And you know, it doesn't always get everything exactly right, but like let's see here. I have one. Let's see, which one can I do? Like, I asked it to talk about the canon of the film franchise on the podcast, and like even just listening to the opening, it feels right. It feels right. Here's the opening. It says, "Welcome back to the Jurassic Park Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Jost. Today on the show, we'll be discussing the canon of the Jurassic film franchise." Like that opening statement right there, I didn't have to ever write that. That was just written for me. I took away, like I wouldn't have had to do all that work that I've had to do over all these years to write all these intros and come up with all this stuff and questions and whatever. It can just do it for you, which is pretty interesting. So we were kind of thinking like, let's kind of take that 2XL, mindset and see what we can come up with. We have no idea what we're going to write or what we're going to talk about here. But I was thinking, first off, based off of, I don't know if it will be able to do this, but it got me thinking when we finished that 2XL story, what happened when Dodgson won? What happened if Dennis Nedry got off the island with the Barbasol can? Do you think that this chatbot will be able to figure that out? Would it be able to make that story? Would it maybe be able to tell us like what happened if Dennis Nedry survived?
Well, it kind of depends, right? Because the part of this chatbot right now is its limitation of the world after 2021. So with the movie not having been out by the time, like this robot is capped before the movie came out. So like, it's like, okay, is there a script that leaked out there online that it could pull from? Are there articles that talk about the events of Dominion,
that's
before
interesting.
2021?
So let me tell you this.
To tell us about Dominion, what would happen?
So this is I'll tell you exactly. This is pre-2021, so that's what you're saying. I don't know. I didn't know about that. That's pretty interesting. But I did ask it the other day. I said, come up with a Jurassic World film named Jurassic World Dominion that stars the original big three from the first film. The Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom stars and features a pilot, Kayla Watts, and a bad guy in this film is Lewis Dodgson of Biosyn. So I gave it some parameters, right?
Okay, cool.
Those are the parameters. And it had said, Jurassic World Dominion is the latest installment in the Jurassic World franchise, and it brings together the original cast of the Jurassic Park film with the stars of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. In this exciting new adventure, our heroes must team up to save dinosaurs from a sinister new threat. Lewis Dodgson, the notorious geneticist from Biosyn, has returned and is determined to exploit the dinosaurs for his own gain. But standing in his way is a team of unlikely heroes, including Dr. Alan Grant, Dr. Ellie Sattler, and Dr. Ian Malcolm, as well as Owen Grady, Claire Deering, and their new ally, pilot Kayla Watts. As the team races against time to stop Dodgson and his evil plans, they must also contend with the dangers of the Jurassic world, including deadly new breeds of dinosaurs and treacherous new natural obstacles. Will our heroes be able to save the dinosaurs and prevent Dodgson from unleashing a new age of destruction? Find out in Jurassic World Dominion.
So, but isn't that interesting? It doesn't know the plot of Jurassic World Dominion. All that information could have been garnered from interviews, like clearly, like all this stuff that it just said, garnered from interviews, garnered from like synopsis that were like, like produced by Universal, right? So like nothing in here was specific. It was very generic. New breeds of dinosaurs. Well, clearly.
Must tackle a new threat. It's like very... very tagline-y kind of stuff, But it was interesting that I did not mention their names. I did not say Grant, Ellie, and Malcolm. I just said the original big three of the first film. That's what I said. And it came up with their names. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that was pretty interesting. But all right, so what should we ask it? What should be the first thing?
Can we see can we see maybe how smart it is with Kayla Watts? Can we say, ChatGPT, can you give us a synopsis of a film starring a character, Kayla Watts, from the Jurassic World franchise or something, because I would love to see what Kayla's up to after Jurassic World Dominion.
Give us Give us a film about. I cannot type on this little keyboard.
Do you give us a film synopsis? Because I don't know if it's gonna.
Okay, yeah. All right.
It'll cap out after like so long if it's gonna write a script.
A film synopsis about Kayla Watts from Jurassic World.
After the events of Jurassic World
Dominion? Or
let's find out. No, let's see what happens.
Can you give us a film synopsis about Kayla Watts after the events of Jurassic World? I'll just say Dominion. All right, let's see what happens here. All right. Oh, no. I don't have any information about Jurassic World Dominion or Kayla Watts. It's possible that Jurassic World has not been released yet. Okay, so it has no idea who Kayla Watts is. So that's interesting that previously, when I gave it a little bit of information about Kayla Watts and being a pilot, it just kind of put that in there. But it has no idea who Kayla Watts is. And it won't even come up with it for us. That's weird.
Okay. Well, so then we can't really mess with Kayla. Can we?
Okay.
Will it give us a story about what happened to Alan Grant? Like, will it give us a story about what happened to Alan Grant after the events of Jurassic Park 3?
Give us a story about Dr. Alan Grant after the events of Jurassic Park 3. Oops. All right, here we go. After the events of Jurassic Park 3, Dr. Alan Grant continued his career as a paleontologist and became a leading expert in the field. Okay, duh. He frequently gave lectures and interviews, about his experiences on Isla Sorna and the importance of understanding the past. I cannot read this fast. Despite the dangers he faced on the island, Dr. Grant remained passionate about his work and continued to study ancient animals and their behavior. He became particularly interested in the behavior of raptors and spent many years researching and writing about these intelligent creatures. In his personal life, Dr. Grant remained close with his colleagues and friends from Jurassic Park, including Dr. Ellie Sattler and Dr. Ian Malcolm. He became a mentor to many young paleontologists, sharing his knowledge and experiences with the next generation of scientists. He traveled the world, studying fossils and artifacts in remote locations and collaborating with other scientists on groundbreaking research projects. His work took him to many exciting places. He never lost his sense of wonder and curiosity of the natural world.
This
is very, very generic.
Yeah.
Despite the challenges he faced, the dangers he encountered, Dr. Alan Grant remains dedicated to his work and made many important contributions to the field of paleontology. I feel like this was like a cover letter for Dr. Grant in his resume for applying to the Biocenter or something.
So go to a different thread. Okay, so but here's the thing. There's so much information on Alan Grant out there, right? Like this is clearly a very, like you said, it's a very generic, like melting pot of everything that's out there. Can we figure out a character like was it Billy? Like, could we say like what happened to Billy after the events of Jurassic Park 3?
Yeah, we could.
What was Billy's last name?
Brenner, right?
It's going to be like Billy Brenner was a paleontologist who stayed top in his field and was a mentor to many young paleontologists of the next generation. I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen.
Give us a synopsis of.
Tell us a story about Billy Brennan after the events of Jurassic Park 3.
Wait, what is his name? Is it Billy Brennan
Billy
or Brenner?
Brennan? Hold on.
Brennan, right?
Brennan. Brennan. Brennan.
Okay, yeah. All right. Sorry, everybody. We have no clue how to spell Billy's last name. Tell us, what are we saying? Tell us what? Tell us
a story about Billy Brennan after the events of Jurassic Park 3.
After the events of Jurassic Park 3. After the events of Jurassic Park 3, Billy Brennan.
I told you. Oh my God.
He could do But this is interesting, though. This is interesting because he became he continued his work as a paleontologist and animal behaviorist. He wasn't an animal behaviorist, was he? That's Owen Grady.
Not at all.
He had always been fascinated by dinosaurs, and the experience of being stranded on Isla Sorna had only heightened his curiosity and determination to learn more about these ancient creatures. As he delved deeper into his research, Billy became increasingly convinced that there was much more to learn about dinosaurs than we had previously had thought. He spent countless hours studying fossilized remains and analyzing the behavior of living dinosaurs, searching for clues about their habitats and habits. All right, let's see if there's anything worthwhile in this.
It's so
he
generic.
He discovered that contrary to popular belief, many dinosaurs were actually highly intelligent and social creatures. This revelation sent shockwaves through the scientific community.
You know what I feel? I feel like ChatGPT would have been great as a writer for 2XL in the 90s. You know what we could do?
Yeah.
You know what we could do? Everyone, except for me, wants a prequel to Jurassic Park. So I'm wondering if we asked it to write a film synopsis for a prequel to Jurassic Park, what would it be? And would I be right that it is boring and no one should care about this?
All right. Write a film synopsis for a prequel to Jurassic Park?
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
In the prequel to Jurassic Park, we follow the story of a group of scientists and corporate executives as they travel to a remote island in the Pacific Ocean to uncover the secrets of an ancient civilization. Ooh.
What?
As they explore the island, they uncover evidence of a sophisticated society that lived there thousands of years ago, and they begin to unravel the mystery of how civilization was able to domesticate and control terrifying dinosaurs that roamed the island. As they delve deeper into the secrets of the island, they begin to realize that they are not alone, and there are other forces at work on the island, including a rival corporation that is determined to exploit the island's resources for their own gain. As tensions rise, the scientists struggle to come to terms with the implications of their discoveries. They must confront the dangers of the island and find a way to survive long enough to share their findings with the world. The film ends with the team successfully escaping the island and returning home, but not before planting the seeds for the events that would unfold in the original Jurassic Park.
Okay.
That can't possibly be true, because they went off the island and they told the world what happened, and then they planted the seeds for the original Jurassic Park, which no one had any clue was happening.
No, but what I find interesting is so the idea of an ancient civilization having been on the island, this is something that was seeded in Jurassic Park, the game, by Telltale.
The game, yeah.
Right? So you have that. You have this idea.
It sounds way more cryptic here, though.
Oh, I know. It sounds
a
way
secret
cooler
ancient
here.
civilization. Yeah.
Right.
Not just like a tribe of people that lived on this island previously,
Right. It sounds way cooler here. And then also this idea that there were already dinosaurs on this island, which is pulling from King Kong. So maybe not all the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park were created by InGen. Maybe none of the dinosaurs were created by InGen. Maybe InGen found this island and was like, hey, we can kind of con people into thinking that we have this genetic jump. Isn't that what someone just went to, some lady in the news went to prison for this recently, misleading shareholders. What's her name? Oh my gosh, I'm
about dinosaurs?
Like an idiot now. No. It was something to do with genetics, some genetic machine.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But this idea that maybe InGen didn't create the dinosaurs. Maybe the dinosaurs were already on the island, and InGen built a park around that. But then, to hide the fact that dinosaurs have been alive this whole time, they come up with this convoluted idea that they created them through DNA. I mean, there's some cool little seeds of storytelling here. But again, nothing I would be interested in watching as a movie.
I do like it, though. It's interesting that it lays the seeds for Jurassic World. So say the events of Jurassic Park, The Lost World, and JP3 all happened but then like it lays the seeds for Jurassic World, where these dinosaurs are domesticated in a way and controllable. That's pretty interesting that it lays those seeds all the way back in this prequel with these ancient dinosaurs. That's pretty awesome. I like that idea of like it being a mask for what really went down. That's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. So, yeah, I want to actually go back because I'm thinking about 2XL and that outcome of that story, and I want to go back and see if it can come up with. So let's have it come up with, like right. Oh,
go ahead.
Tell us about because I want to learn about Dennis Nedry passing off the Barbasol can. So like, how should we word this?
Tell us a story as if Dennis Nedry had given dinosaur embryos to Lewis Dodson. Oh, okay. Tell us a story as if Dennis Nedry had not died and had given the dinosaur embryos to Lewis Dodson at the end of Jurassic Park.
All right. Dennis Nedry was a programmer. Okay, we know that. Despite being he felt unhappy and undervalued. Yeah, we know all this. He was approached by Lewis Dodson, worked at a rival company. Yep, we got that. But he felt, despite his reservations, Nedry ultimately decided to take the risk. He knew he was smart enough to pull off the heist. So on the night of the theft, Nedry snuck into the laboratory where the embryos were stored, carefully collected a few of them, placed them in a cooler that he had brought with him. As he was about to leave the lab, he was confronted by one of the park's security guards. Nedry panicked and fled, running through the dark and stormy night, trying to evade the guard who was hot on his heels. Eventually, he reached the maintenance shed where he had arranged to meet Dodson. Dodson was waiting for him, and when he saw the cooler, he was overjoyed. He quickly paid Nedry the promised sum of money and thanked him for his help. Nedry was relieved to have gotten away with the theft, and he was already thinking about how he would spend the money. As the two men parted ways, Nedry couldn't help but wonder what the future held for him. He knew that he made a risky and unethical decision, but he was confident that he had gotten away with it. Little did he know, however, that his actions would have far-reaching consequences that would change the course of history. I want to know what that change is. What is the change?
That's really cryptic and like, I don't know. I feel kind of obvious, right? Like there was almost no information out there for ChatGPT to like really create.
I do like the interaction though, like the fact that he was confronted by a security guard or whatever at Jurassic Park. Even though all these people are gone at this point, he was confronted by a security guard and literally just fled into the storm. And in this case, he was meeting Dodson in a bunker, which we know didn't exactly happen. But we get this little interaction there. That Dodson's overjoyed. He actually paid him the money. He didn't just split and not pay him the money. That was good. That's pretty good. I like that interaction.
This is a nicer Lewis Dodson than the 2XL version.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Where else can we go? Can we do any, like maybe do like one or two more? Let's think.
Who are we like?
Here. I've got an idea. An idea. Here, ready? Give me a film, or here. I'll rephrase this. Write a film synopsis for a Jurassic World sequel starring Henry Cavill. Is it one L or two L's?
Two
L's. Okay. Let's see if it can do anything here. Did it write anything? Okay. In Jurassic World: The Lost Island, the sequel to the blockbuster hit Jurassic World. Henry Cavill stars as Jack, a rugged and resourceful adventurer who is hired by a wealthy businessman to lead a team of scientists and mercenaries on a dangerous expedition to a remote and uncharted island. The team's mission is to find and retrieve a rare and valuable species of dinosaur that is believed to be living on the island. But as they set out to accomplish their goal, they soon discover that the island is home to all sorts of prehistoric dangers, including vicious predators and massive rampaging beasts. As Jack and his team struggle to survive against the formidable foes that lurk around every corner, they must also contend with the machinations of their ruthless employer, who is willing to stop at nothing to get his hands on the valuable dinosaur. As the stakes become higher and the dangers increase, Jack must use all of his skills and cunning to outwit his enemies and ensure the safety of his team. But with the lives of his friends and the future in the world at stake, will he be able to triumph over the forces of nature and emerge victorious?
So it's Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but they replaced Owen with Henry Cavill. I'm
with
not against
Henry
that
Cavill.
idea.
I mean,
not against
it. Not bad. I'd watch it.
I'm trying
I'd
to Google different things about chatbot GPT, like maybe see if there's better ways of asking it questions. But I also think Jurassic Park is really limited, right? Like we have the issue on the podcast, right? Like, well, Jurassic Park is kind of a niche thing, which is why we start every episode we do talking for 45 minutes about DC and Lord of the Rings
and random things,
random things. So I'm going to go to how do I talk to ChatGPT. Let's see if I can get any information here. I'm really not garnering anything new. It's really like it's a creative thing, so it's just asking us to.
Well, yeah. I think it's going to be vague. I think it's just going to be vague. You know, we're not really asking it for specifics. If we were to maybe give it more specifics, what would be the Henry Cavill Jurassic World movie that you'd like to see? What would it be? Like, what? Give me more information. Oh, do you want it to be the raptors? The raptor in the cabin is Henry Cavill, like the guy who lives in the cabin, and the raptors are, surrounding his village.
Write us a story. Write us a film synopsis about. Here we go.
I can never spell synopsis right.
About a velociraptor from Jurassic World who lives in a small town in Montana, starring Henry Cavill.
Wait. This is going to be like this Velociraptor's like a guy who wakes up every morning and makes his cup of coffee, goes fishing.
I don't know. I mean, we're asking this robot to just like pump out this art, and it's clearly not all that interesting.
All right, an error occurred. Oh no.
You need to be in a new
No, it shouldn't
thread.
have to be. All right, let's see. Try again. Nope, an error occurred.
Oh, no, it refuses.
It does not like this question. All right, let's rephrase it then. Write a film synopsis starring Henry Cavill as a lone. What would he be? He would be a lone.
First off.
What kind
Henry Cavill he's my new casting for Jaws Jackson. So.
Oh, okay.
So could we do a Jaws Jackson story, like a retired dino tracker? Jaws Jackson?
As Jaws, yeah, Jaws Jackson. I cannot type here. Retired what? Dino tracker?
Retired dino tracker from Jurassic Park. And let's see what we get.
Write a film synopsis starring Henry Cavill as Jaws Jackson, a retired dino tracker from Jurassic Park, who let's give it some more information. Who currently resides in Montana. Montana in a remote cabin in Montana, and
Write it. Why don't you just write it yourself, man?
I know, I'm trying, and has to fend off a pack of wild velociraptors. All right, that's good. That's the story.
Okay. Doesn't like it.
Why? Why do you not want a film synopsis? This sounds perfect. Give us this movie. Open AI?
Maybe OpenAI is like broke. Maybe just like copy that and then refresh OpenAI altogether.
Let me try refreshing it.
Like, come on, we cannot have possibly broken chat AI with Jurassic Park. Like, that seems, people are like getting software programs.
All right, here we go. In Jaws Jackson, Dino Tracker. Oh, dude, that's awesome film title. Henry Cavill stars as the rugged and skilled retired dino tracker Jaws Jackson. After years of tracking and studying dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, Jaws has retired to a remote cabin in Montana, where he lives a peaceful and solitary life. One day, while hunting in the woods, Jaws is attacked by a pack of wild raptors. Despite being outnumbered and outmatched, Jaws uses all of his training and expertise to fend off raptors and make it back to his cabin. As the raptors continue to stalk and threaten Jaws, he realizes he must find a way to stop them before attacking again. He sets out into the wilderness using his tracking skills to locate the raptors' den and form a plan to take them down. As Jaws battles the raptors, he is forced to confront his past and events that led him to retire from Jurassic Park. But with the help of some unlikely allies, Jaws is able to outsmart the raptors and save the day.
Who are they?
In the end, Jaws returns to his cabin, having faced his fears and proven once again that he is the ultimate dino tracker. Dude, this story is incredible. It's an incredible story. I want to see this movie.
We did it.
Wow.
Henry, put down Warhammer. Focus on this. All right. Dwayne Johnson as Harpoon Harrison. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. I need to like how can I just want to take a screenshot of all of this because that's incredible.
Well, you have the video for
how do I here we go. Here's okay, let's do that. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. I do have the video. That's right. That does exist.
Oh my gosh, so good. I mean, it was really vague and it basically just spit out the information we gave it in like a really cool
way. But it was compelling. Yeah. And I love the fact that that he receives help from some unlikely allies, but he's also confronting his past and the events that led him to retire. Like, I'm imagining like there was something bad, like flashbacks of bad events in Jurassic Park that made him retire. And then he has to call up his other dino tracker allies, Harpoon Harrison, dude. He's getting all these people out there to come and help him. To imagine this movie. It's incredible.
Dude, what if like the event... What if the event that like forced him to retire was like Sergeant T-Rex Turner, like gruesome death, and like or an accident in Jurassic Park, and like he's got to face this.
Oh my gosh,
dude, so good.
And T-Rex Turner has to be what's his name now from the Avatar movies. I want him to be T-Rex Turner. The sergeant guy who's like, we're not in Kansas anymore. Like, I want him to be T-Rex Turner.
My only issue with him is that he's already
way
been
older.
A sergeant in a dinosaur flick.
I know, yeah. It works though. It works.
Yeah.
I want him to be it. That would be perfect.
What else could Henry Cavill do in Jurassic Park?
That's the title of this episode is What Can Henry Cavill do in Jurassic Park?
Could we, Brad? Let's do the unspeakable.
Uh-oh.
Let's have chatbot, whatever this thing is, give us a synopsis about a Jurassic Park and Fast and Furious crossover movie.
All right, this is where we're ending it. All right.
Like,
All right,
if this
all right.
well, wait, go to a different thread. Go fresh.
Okay, all right, yeah, all right. But you don't want Henry Cavill to show up in this? He might show up.
Starring Henry Cavill and Dwayne Johnson and and who's the guy who's actually from Fast and Furious?
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
Of a crossover film between Jurassic Park or Park.
Let's do Jurassic. No, let's do Jurassic World. Let's do Jurassic World.
Jurassic World and the Fast and the Furious movies starring
Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne. How do I spell this? Dwayne Johnson.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Bryce Dallas Howard, and
Vin Diesel.
Dominic Toretto. I don't know how to spell Diesel. How do you spell that? Diesel. There we go.
And let's throw in Henry Cavill because he's a goat.
Newcomer. Henry Cavill. Just newcomer Henry Cavill, or
newcomer Henry Cavill.
Okay. All right, so we're going to write a film synopsis of a crossover film between Jurassic World and the Fast and the Furious movies starring Dwayne Johnson, Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Vin Diesel, and with newcomer Henry Cavill.
This is the end of the show.
In Jurassic Fast and Furious, Dwayne Johnson and Chris Pratt team up as special agents tasked with investigating a string of high-stakes heists that have been pulling off using genetically engineered dinosaurs. As they delve deeper into the case, they discover that the mastermind behind the crimes is none other than Owen Grady. Wait, I'm so confused. Former Jurassic World dinosaur trainer. So wait,
Owen Grady's a double agent.
He's undercover. Like he doesn't want him to know it's him.
Yeah,
he's the mastermind behind the crimes. Oh my gosh, Owen, what happened? Meanwhile, Owen's former flame and Jurassic World operations manager, Claire Dearing, Bryce Dallas Howard, is hot on his tail, determined to bring him to justice and clear her own name after being framed for the crimes. As they team races against time to track down Owen and his accomplices, they are aided by a skilled street racer, Dom Toretto, Vin Diesel, and his elite crew, who have their own score to settle with Owen. As they navigate the dangerous world of underground dino racing and battle against genetically enhanced super predators, they are joined by a new ally, Henry Cavill, as former military specialist with expertise in taming and training the beasts. As the stakes get higher and the action intensifies, the team must use all of their skills and resources to bring down Owen and his dangerous dino operations before it's too late. All right. So this is not the first time that they had to bring down an Owen, by the way, because they had to bring down Owen Shaw.
That's true. Dude, Owen Grady, double agent in the Fast and Furious films.
I'm not even sure if it was going that route, because I just think it didn't know what it was doing.
I think it didn't know what it was doing, but in its beauty, it gave us something excellent.
That's amazing.
I love that Henry Cavill is the new hotness for dino trainers.
Yeah, he's the new Owen.
But
imagine that confrontation between Claire and Owen and Henry Cavill. We don't know his name. He's just a new ally. So yeah, that's pretty. Maybe he worked with Owen previously. That would be pretty interesting.
That would be dope. This movie, as badly as I don't want it to happen, Universal, there it is.
There it is. No work needed to be done. This is it. This works. I wanted to wait. So what was he doing? He was pulling off dino heists.
Yeah.
He's sending some raptors in to steal.
He's turned.
Oh
he's
my
joining,
gosh.
He's joined the likes of the girl with the Atrociraptors.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Like-
fell in there.
Dude, he's had like a Luke Skywalker moment where he's given up on the good path. And or an Anakin Skywalker.
Anakin, yeah. This is great. I love it.
Yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Well, there we go. I think that that probably wraps it up, right? That
we had a
was
lot of
pretty
losers,
good.
but I think we ended on two really good winners.
I think maybe we'll edit out some of the missed opportunities there because it was like not working for us very well, but we ended up getting through it. But that's awesome. That's fun. We might have to do this again sometime. I think
I think this is a new segment.
Yeah, this is definitely a new segment, and we'll come up with like better ideas maybe because we're just making things up on the fly here. But that was fun. I like that. So we got a good discussion in here about movies and video games and 2XL in there. How to represent yourself as a good person, and then we talked with a little bit of a chatbot here. So a pretty productive.
That's
2
a full
hours.
episode.
I thought this was going to be 30 minutes. I'm
Do you
sorry.
Do you remember 2 hours ago when I said to you, I don't think we're going to be talking for very long?
Yeah. Well, here we are. But thank you so much for listening, everybody. Aaron, where can everybody find you if they want to talk games, movies, Jurassic, whatever it is? Are you talking with anybody out there online?
No, you can find me at Aaron D. Beyer on Twitter, where really I just like to read Twitter now and watch Twitter devolve into a complete chaotic mess. You can find me on ArtStation. You can just look for me as an artist, Aaron Beyer. I've got some video game lighting art up there. And yeah, I don't know if I can announce what my next project is, but the project has been announced, so it's very exciting.
That's cool. We'll find out maybe
talking about
at some
it here.
point. At some point, that would be good to know. But yeah, that's it. So definitely follow Aaron and follow us more for maybe some more 2XL in the future if we can get some more interesting stories there, and certainly more video game talk. Aaron, I know some people were asking about revisiting Jurassic World Alive, because after our initial look at that game, the app, we really haven't talked about it at all. I don't know if you were even a part of that conversation or not, but
no, that wasn't me.
But yeah, it would be interesting maybe to get your thoughts now, even to dive into Jurassic World Alive sometime. I know people are looking to hear about that, so I might have to do that sometime soon, and maybe we can head out on the game trail again sometime soon with that. That'd be fun.
All right, for sure. Yeah.
But anyway, thank you everybody so much for watching and for listening. See you later.
See ya.